still in this seat in the hot summer heat. A smile on your face and no shoes on your feet. Nowhere to go, the same places we've been. I'm looking for more, but you're only my friend.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to your normal programming. This is your host, Michael Rogers. Um, I want to make one thing clear. This is mine and my friends. Okay, my team. I don't even really call them my friends. They're my team. I've got a solid team of people. A couple investigators, a producer, a couple songwriters, artists. This is ours. This is a medium for truth, sharing ideas, maybe not always truth, but looking for truth. Uh, why do I rent a penthouse? I don't want to bring business to my home. This is a good spot. It gives me it gives me a chance to get away, go from the country to the city. We're doing all this as a team. It's ours. It don't belong to any media company. It doesn't belong to anyone but us. We do all of our own self promoting. I don't ask for advertising. I get offered it. Uh, I'm very selective on how I do my advertising, with who, and how I make monetary gains with it. Um, you see, all of that to bring me to this. Speaking of just some monetary gain, I don't want the IRS digging into what I do. You know, I have a day job. I pay enough taxes as a working citizen. Anything I do as a art, a hobby, anything like that, an extra source of income, I feel like it ain't none of their business, because what we're finding out is, and look around at it, and it has to do all the way from our president to people above him to people below him to your state senators, mayors of Nashville. They don't want you or the IRS looking into their extracurricular money. Matter of fact, they're telling you to shut up and don't look at us. I've gotten a threat. I've gotten two threats, actually. One saying that I'll either clean up what I say or change what I say, or come on, y'all. What are you going to do to somebody that don't care? If I cared, you think I would put my opinions out publicly? I've had a threat that said if I don't change what I say or change my views on stuff, something could happen. I don't know if that's lawsuits. I don't know if that's physical harm. I'll say this: there's a reason there's a disclaimer at the beginning of the show. I might say something crazy and wild just because I either one, think it's funny, or two, I'm trying to find the truth in behind it, even though I don't know the truth to it yet. But I think I might. Now, I'm gonna be very clear with that threat. I'm not gonna say what the other threat was. That one right there, though, let me be very clear. I'm either just joking or I'm trying to find the truth. But what I want to be very clear on is I don't want to sound like pretentious, but I do this, I own this. You ain't gonna tell me what I can and cannot say. I'll say whatever I want, whenever I want, until somebody until somebody does something. Then I'll argue with you. I say that a lot of things I say are parody and satirical because they kind of are, but I also don't really. I don't want to get sued for asking a question that I am maybe framing as a statement because I like when I I say something like I don't know. This what's something that presidents may be lizard people. I ain't trying to get sued for that because that's kind of like it's not an unpopular opinion. I don't I don't think that it's true in the sense of they're lizard people. I do think that they're very snaky, and I think they got something to them, and I think it could be a bloodline, and I think I think a lot of different things, but I want to believe that they're just not great decision makers instead of they make evil decisions, which it almost seems like. Um, I would like to go. I actually need to go back into a couple of episodes and see what the hell I've said lately because somebody told me that I was being mildly. What's what like less than mildly? Was that like moderately? I wouldn't even say that. I'd say just a touch, like anti-Jewish and stuff. Like the great Tim Dillon once said, "Keep calling people Nazis that aren't, and don't be surprised if they kind of turn into them." And I'm not saying I'm turning into a Nazi. I'm just saying when somebody when you are starting to see a lot of evidence of things and you're starting to make decisions and then like you got I mean I'm learning y'all like I'm a student for life. I've always been. I study a lot of things. So you know the more stuff you find out and a lot of it is false information and that's where I'm probably not the best at um deciding that. I like to put my I don't share things to say, oh, this is 100% fact that Jeffrey Epstein was eating children on an island. But I'll share a short about it and be like, well, what we got here? What y'all think? Y'all tell me something. You know, I've always kind of thought that. I always kind of thought they were all evil. They don't show you stuff in movies and TV shows and in music. They let you hear it about all this stuff, and then there's got to be some truth to it. I'm sorry, and that goes from President Lizard to Epstein eating babies or everything in between. I don't think that aliens are necessarily real. I think they're interdimensional demons. I'm really starting to believe that demons are among us. And a lot of people at the top know it and they worship it and they embrace it and they want to bring it on. And that's why they dance to the goddess of Sheba and stuff before they cut the CERN machines on and stuff. Like, why did Brad Pitt the other night say, "Oh, I took up a life of Satanism and it's working out pretty good"? Why is Jelly Roll at the Grammys talking about Christ? And look, I know that this is I I'm on the fence about that old boy right there with that. Like he seems like a con because I've heard stuff that contradicts the way he lives his whole life. I don't mean with the God thing. I mean like as in you ain't country, Bubba. Well, we all are kind of country. We're from Tennessee, so but you were like a dope boy, street thug, gold teeth, tall tees, tongues hanging out of the bottom of the in front of you, you know, Europico jeans. Uh, But then that check told him, hey, go in here and fool all these country idiots into thinking, all right, well, Jelly Roll, he kind of rapped one time, right? He rapped one time, right? No, he was a street thug that talked like this, man. That not like that sounded like DJ off of Hustle and Flow, but he was like very. He spoke in a lot of ebonics, a lot of stuff like that. Y'all know the type of person I'm talking about. I ain't trying to act stupid, but that check told him, "Hey, go out there and play this guy for us." Bunny comes along. Now, look, I hope that they have changed their life. I really do. I hope so. That's awesome. But you can't get sober, loose, and waiting and think that you're a preacher. You can't talk about, well, I drink on Saturday, pray on Sunday. Like, you can, man. And you know what? That type of music ain't always like bad to listen to if all you're listening to is just to sound good. It is bad for your spirit, but you can't sit there and make that type of music and then say, I want to be an inspiration for every little kid in the world. Here's a whiskey bottle and a Bible, buddy. That's what that is. That's what that looks like to me. And I'm sorry if I'm not being judgy. I'm saying, hey, I hope that that's what that is. But I don't have high hopes for any person but me. No, uh, you know. But yeah, that they were saying that I was being like anti Philadelphian, as my buddy Coach, was it Coach Collins? Yeah, says. No, that's not. I have a theory though. So and I don't mean to get religious here, but it's almost like religion is spilling into politics, is spilling into your everyday life, is spilling into how people are starting to react and act. Uh, Jeffrey Epstein. I don't think I've talked about this enough. uh, so, not everyone, and I'm not being judgmental or stereotypical. Epstein, Weinstein, Silverstein, Wexler. Uh, what was the other one? Greenberg? Greenbrier? No, that's a city. Greenberg, yeah. I think there was a Greenberg in there. Anyways, anybody notice anything about that? I'm not going to point out the obvious, but I will say, does anybody notice anything about that? A lot of Bergs and Steins in there. And Les Wexner, I watched a deposition of his. I watched about 3 hours and 42 minutes, and I still got about an hour left, and I can't wait to watch it. Um, he's obviously Jewish, and I hate to say this because this sounds bad, but a lot of the Jewish faith don't believe that Christ is the Son of God and the true Savior. I'm not meaning to get religious, but this is just what I believe. Don't like it, don't watch it. I don't give a shit. Um, so you got this Epstein thing that's larger than life. You got Lex Wessner. He gets interviewed. He can't remember anything about his life. He can't recall hundreds of millions of dollars in jets and homes and parties, and he can't remember any of this. He never knew Jeffrey Epstein. You heard his lawyer tell him he would kill him if he answered another question with more than 5 words. He don't remember when he met him. He don't. I mean, he's like, yeah, I met him in the back of a car. Yeah, I'm sure you did. Then they started asking old Wexler if he ever had any relations with Mr. Epstein. They're doing the worst. They're doing the worst. They're doing worse than the worst. And I will have to say this, and I hope people don't get mad at me for this. When I was watching that last night, to me, I zoomed in on this guy's face. He looked like a believable older guy that really don't remember a lot if you're an average person. But when you're a Weinstein now, when you are a CEO of 20 companies and you have a very sharp memory and you know a lot about what you do on your day to day. Things like that stand out. You don't remember when you sold him a G6? You don't know when you sold him a $400 million home, three of them, four of them. How'd you get your money, Mister Ware? I don't know. He may have gave it to me in cash or in kids. I don't know. So what this dude's like, I can't recall. So what they're going to do is this. So Israel, I don't know if people know this, run this country. They run the media, not my media, because I own mine. They run the media. They run music. They run everything you take in, including the food, including your. They own your air. They own your air. They own your ass. Just saying. We're about to probably go to war with Iran and the rest of the world. Israel is a big instrument in that. I don't care if they want to call me whatever you want. I'm not saying I hate Jewish people. I'm saying I don't agree with Israel and whatever's running all that right there. I don't. And I think people try to throw these ununderstood Bible verses and stuff up and oh you gotta bless it. No you don't. No you don't. No I won't. I'm not going to. I'm not going to because a lot of people on that list, a lot of them, 2/3 or better, are that. Mr. Wexler last night looked very convincing, and I was like, man, you know what? This man may have just got conned. He may have just got conned. Man, he is a con. He's called a con calling another motherfucker a con. Congratulations, you're caught. What they're going to do, they're going to try to use Les Wexner, who would be like the head of this thing, because it was like Les, then Epstein, then it branches off of Mary Ghislaine. Da, da, da. So if Les is at the head, he's the money man. He's in. I thought he died a while ago. If he's in court giving depositions or in GOP, whatever, he's alive, right? Maybe not after last night. I don't know. He had a heart attack and died this morning. The heart attack caused him to grab a shotgun and shoot himself 7 times. Uh, they're gonna try. So Israel has gotten us into a bunch of crap. Ultimately, maybe not direct, but something they did here stemmed back over here, and that's how it goes. Um, I think they're gonna try to use this Epstein thing, and I think Lex Wessner was a big instrument in that, and he kind of passed the sniff test. I look at people. I did notice some creepy body language. I did think that this dude don't know anything about nothing, apparently. But if he was on a movie, I'd have believed that. He didn't play the believable role. Do I trust him? No. Do I think that he's told the truth? No. But you believe what you saw as the programming, the show they're showing you. Who even knows if that is Les Wexler? But here's what I'm saying. What they're going to do is they're going to try to use these Epstein files as a big mass bill passing, conspiracy theorist, danger to society, uh, law building agenda. And Israel is going to push for if you talked against Epstein, if you talked against Jewish people, 2/3 of them are on that list. If you speak anything bad about Judaism or Israel or something, then you're going to be an enemy of the state. I'll figure your things out for you. You will. Mark my words. You can ask my friends and my team. 5 years, 4 years ago, I was telling people this Epstein stuff was about to blow up and be worse than anything. Man, you're stupid. You think that people really do that? You think that all these people are freaking Satan? Yeah, sure do. All of a sudden, UT football don't seem so important, does it? I'm sorry I bring UT. I'm not picking on Peyton Manning or whoever. I don't know. That's the last time I watched the UT football game. Peyton Manning was still there. You see, people, it all comes down to this. When you call people something for so long, that's what they become. Did I say that all those sick freaks were that for so long? Did they become that? No. But you got to understand how history is written. I can't remember. I keep forgetting. Written, yeah. Um, you only are going to know what you've been told. Public school for 30, 40 years, their books were owned by McGraw Hill, or they made them. That's Robert Epstein or Robert Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, a freaking Mossad agent. She was a Mossad agent. Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad agent. I don't even think that was his real name. They're finding a lot of stuff about that too. That dude probably his name's like like Olaf Blockenstall or something. He probably some kind of Russian asset that went to that went to the man. Y'all gotta. I'm telling you, watch the movie or the show Blacklist, and that's gonna be a lot of truth. Like these people ain't they ain't the FBI ain't arresting somebody. They're arresting who they're told. Oh, you don't touch him. He's our asset. I heard one of the most disgusting things I ever heard for two different reasons. One, it's morally wrong because it's underage people. But they said that whenever they were trying to like get information from a high value clients and stuff, the government openly knew we were trafficking whoever to whoever because they needed to make them connections and contacts and hey, that's what them people like, so we had to provide. You're using human people. Human people. Yeah, that's my new phrase. I'm gonna get a shirt that says "Quit trafficking human people." Put that on the merch line. Ideas. We'll get Sean to print. We'll get Sean to design something. Uh, they're using them like you use cigarettes and a dang slammer. You know what I mean? Like, but and here's the second part of it. Let me say, hey man, I was trying to get this business partner right for my little business. So I brought him a 16-year-old girl. Uh, but that's what he likes. So we're cool, right? Man, I'll be in handcuffs and on every newspaper around there. Like, no, that ain't all right. It don't matter who you are or how. No, that's not all right. And if it's gonna be all right, then it has to be all right. And I don't agree with that. I'm just saying you can't tell people there ain't a two-tier justice system when you have like people from the government openly admitting things like that, and then telling you to shut up and deal with it. We all get judged for our sins, no matter how great or small. My biggest problem is for one the people, and for two, I know people that's getting locked up for stuff way less like similar in nature, but not like that. Like, I know a person that got arrested for soliciting a prostitute. Ruined his life. Ruined his life. Now, sure, that was like a much smaller scale thing, but it ruined his life at the end of the day. It did. Uh, I know people that get who've been arrested for drug trafficking. Man, they trafficked crack into the nation in the 80s by the plane loads, boat loads, ship loads. Who went to jail for that in the government? Freeway Ricky Ross. Who's the other ones? I don't even know. I don't care. Like, we can't have this. We can't have this because if we allow this, you might as well say America's done. It's done. Stop even acting like it ain't. You know, if we're going to allow that and keep paying these people our money to do this, to lock us up, if we do anything, even if you smoke a joint in a car. Yeah, I was listening to Mitt Romney's nephew. That guy was telling a story about him. You can't smoke a joint in the car. This dude was living out in the middle of Colorado somewhere in some big old mansion. Uh, had like a chick OD. He didn't have a driver's license. He stayed getting drunk, messed up, and high in the car. They took his license, which is whatever. And he kid, this some chick OD'd in his bedroom, and he had this guy like take the girl off, and all that, and then like he's never even had to sit in a courtroom over that, and it's kind of known. So, it ain't like it's being hid. It is being hid, but not in a way that you can't know about it. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, but Tucker Carlson got arrested. He's probably not even Tucker Carlson anymore. Body swap, hashtag body swap. Uh, Everybody better watch out, and everybody better not cry, better not pout. I'm telling you why. Night, folks.
You and me, wild in this country.